Hi everyone, can anybody hear me? See me? Well, you won't see me, haha, that was a trick question. Can anybody hear me? Let me see. Um, Having issues? Yes, I'm having issues. Let me see over here. Hi everyone, can you hear me? I'm trying. Hi, True Love has four paws. Hi, Hi Golden Feather. Hi, Tippy. You guys can hear me? Am I echoing too bad? Hi, Becky from Bama. How are you? Hi, TT. So, I had been clean from all Michelle. All things Michelle. Hi, Warpath. I'm so sorry. I am just so technologically challenged. It's just pitiful. Um, I I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. So I think that you guys can hear me now. I was wondering why nothing was happening, and then oh, my computer has the wrong time for whatever reason, and then it has the wrong day. So I think I had it right. So get this. I have been clean of all Michelle. When I went on vacation and stopped talking or thinking about Michelle, I was just like, oh wow, I want to touch the grass, look at the blue sky, and never think about that rotten tramp ever again in my frickin' life. And hope that the wheels of justice are finally doing what they should be doing. That all of us who collectively got together and started a campaign of going over and above Sheriff Jolly and going to the federal level and starting to say, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for a horrific drunk driving accident to happen? And for all of us to come forward and say, hey, we have been trying to show you she's doing this on a live broadcast. For those of us who suffer from chronic pain, hi Paula. For those of us who suffer from chronic pain, it was 10 times worse because we as chronic pain patients are treated like filthy, filthy criminals for being in pain and daring to go to a doctor and ask for pain relief. We are the ones that are being gaslighted. We are the ones being treated like trash. We are the ones who followed every single rule that they sat there and tried to create to make it difficult and more difficult. But as we suffered and tried to be better, more functional people for ourselves and our families, a lot of us need pain control to be able to function, to move. Um, we have went through hell and been mistreated. And then you have this asshole Michelle who's sitting there crushing up pain meds, bragging about getting them from here, bragging about getting from there, going under a traffic cone, laughing about them, having all of these bottles of pills all over her filth and squalor. And the rest of us are going, why have we had to go through what we go through daily to watch her go and then mix it with alcohol on top of it and then have her gaggle of freaking idiots supporting her and then coming after us for going and reporting her? Did you see that some asshole tried to pick a fight with me? Thank you, Country Tapestry. Thank you so much. Hit that button. Easy way to support the channel. Thank you guys so much. I am one broke hoe. If I could tell you about the hell I've been in the last 24 hours, you would just laugh. It's not easy being a retired hooker. The tales of one broke hoe in the city. That's what it should be. It should be the new Tales in the City. Did you guys ever watch Armistead Maupin's Tales of the City? That was my freaking favorite PBS series of all time. I should rebroadcast it and be Tales of the Old Broke Hoe in the City. Times are tough, man. Times are tough all over. And ever since I got laid off, I got so much more into seeing what I had missed out on with my kids and the house and everything that I'm just so busy, again, being a housewife and taking care of the kids who are now in college. Even though they're older, they still need me, and the house still needs me, and my husband still needs me, and I just don't see how I can fit going back to work full time back in my schedule. So, we're doing it, still with one income, and there just are times where there's no money because the bills have been paid. And that's what it is. It is what it is. So it makes a huge difference to me when you guys do, buy me coffee on Cash App, Tabitha Jane 13, because I've now trained myself that I don't buy myself coffee out of the house anymore unless I've earned it through a Super Chat or Cash App. That my extras have to be earned. But I do have 2 videos to upload to show you how to make the best at-home caramel ribbon frappuccino and how to make the best medicine ball. If you've ever had a medicine ball, it's a drink that Starbucks makes. If you've ever had, what we had the pandemic for, I was working as a manager at Target when that weird flu that we all had that Christmas before the pandemic happened, when we were all deathly ill from this cold flu that would not go away, that nobody knew what it was. And then 3 months later, then they announce it as the pandemic when all of the holiday sales are over and they don't need to worry about things being closed. If you ever noticed how that went. But I was just, the manager of the style department in Target. And I was so freaking sick. And then I would go and be cleaning up after the customers who threw up and everything all over in the bathrooms, because I wasn't going to go and ask the person doing the carts in below 0 temperatures to come in and scrub barf. So I actually got written up because I was working outside of my area cleaning up barf. Well, I'm just as sick. But anyway, we had a freaking Starbucks, and I survived by getting the medicine ball. It's a drink, and it's steamed lemonade with jade citrus and peach tranquility tea. So I have those to upload. So I have those there, my coffee. But hi, Flying Mom, you're going to have to tell me, how did you get the name Flying Mom? I like the name Flying Mom. I'm kind of a flying mom, but on my broom. Oh my goodness. So anywho, I just posted on my community page a screenshot that I had posted before. It is yummy. Paula, you're going to love my recipes I'm going to upload after this stream is done. When many of us were complaining, because of the frickin' circle jerk that is law enforcement, and you never want to be the pivot man in that circle jerk of an alphabet of LEOs, you have to go in the chain of command. So if you start out at the federal level complaining about an asshole like Michelle, then they're like, you need to report that locally. Yeah, the local sheriff there, they would need to know that, because I'm sure that the community policing, and you're going, no, the sheriff is not doing his duty. The community at large is in peril because of this horrible monster that is going and terrorizing the streets, starts out from the house drunk and high, goes down to the taco truck, slams down some margaritas, and gets drunker, and then drives home. And then I got the screenshot that might have made the difference in all of this, because one of my friends here, I don't like to call you guys subs. It's just, you guys are not subs. You guys are my friends. We all have a relationship. Each one of us, whether you guys are emailing me in here, your comments and whatnot, I recognize you, I see you, and I adore you, and I love you for supporting me. Thank you so much. Um, and so when I country time, yes, that was my boo. Boo was acting helpless. He because I have the door almost all the way shut, so he makes me come and get it for him, and I wasn't getting it for him. So we were in a standoff, and I was meowing at him, and he gets. When I meow at him, he'll get up and he'll put his paw in my mouth and be like, "Stop it, stop it." So if you hop over and look at my community post, and if you haven't seen that screenshot yet, that's directly from Sheriff Jolly, and you can tell that he didn't even take a moment to spell check what he was attempting to peck out from a very concerned friend that was watching these streams. I believe that she was watching them through Charlotte, and she was watching them through Boyd, and as all of us were, and she was writing in real time saying, look at this. So her screenshot is there, what she wrote in, and you can tell that she's scared to death in her thing, and she's writing this, like, hey, you need to do this. And Sheriff Jolly's like, well, that's only if you believe internet rumors, which I don't. It's like, okay, there you go. I think that was the ticket, because once I started forwarding that to the federal agencies and showing like, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. When you tell me that you can't listen because that's something that the local sheriff needs to look at, this is what the local sheriff is doing, and this is how the local sheriff is derelict in his duty, and this is how, hello, Misfits Media, and this is how, when election time comes up for Sheriff Jolly, maybe it's time for a new sheriff in town. That happened here. And I think that it's going to make a big difference in the Katie Joy shit show that I am covering now in my limited series with a crystal ball from the Dollar Tree. If you've not seen my new setup for my desk, you are missing out. Please listen to my playlist and look at my setup. Thank you, Misfits Media. I hope you had a great Sunday too. It's been relaxing so far, and there's no one I'd rather share it with than you guys, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't figure out how to get live until now. Whatever has straightened itself out, that I've finally done it. But there was basically a media campaign from so many of us who didn't want to be a part of watching what she was doing online, because we all felt like, how are we going to answer for this? We see these high profile, horrific drunk driving things in my state, especially. Thank you, Misfits Media. In my state especially, we've had several horrific car wrecks from just speeding, not even necessarily alcohol involved. I mean, just a beautiful family was killed. Those 6 amazing young girls who were getting ready to go to a wedding were just killed. 6 at once, immediately killed. All at once, when the police officer that had gotten ready to pull over the guy. I did this story about what is going on, because the guy had already ran over a lady in Santa Barbara. He's a big time drug dealer, and so he was in a high speed chase in Santa Barbara and had ran over an elderly woman, and by sheer luck she did survive. And so he got out of prison early, came out here to Minnesota, started dealing drugs again. His dad was a state representative, and so a policeman saw his vehicle and just got behind him, didn't even put lights on or anything, and he just accelerated and T-boned a vehicle, killing 6 young women who were in college at once. So we have all of these terrible things that are going on that are high profile, and then you have Jackass Michelle doing this, and there's an opportunity for it to be stopped, and for the sheriffs to look like they actually are doing something in that county, and they're flippant like that. It was enough. And I really had to just get it out of my system. When I went on my 10-day break, I just really got all the Michelle out of my system, and really felt confident that I had done as much as I could on the federal level. And I I had to work hard and I had to go back, and I didn't want to go and use all my old connections and stuff, but I had to, um, because trying to do this in the right chain of command was failing. Exactly, Misfits Media. It's like, um, when you take a stand, you get attacked, and it's not taken seriously. And if you go to my community page and you see Sheriff Jolie's own words right there, and as you say, Misfits Media, exactly, even if it's just being concerned, we don't agree with what Michelle has done, but knowing her mental status, she was exploited. Not sure if you agree. Well, there's ways to go back and forth on that. But yes, she should be held accountable for drinking and driving, and never get, even with a sip. Yeah, because you don't know how it's going to. But oh yeah, there's absolutely more than that. Drinking and driving. She was absolutely pushing up pills and actually sniffing those, and snorting those. That was no secret. She was doing that for a long time. Hi, Marsha. Marsha McIntyre. Thank you, Misfit. Don't you love my page? Tragic! What? Are you really here? Is it you? What? Oh my god. Oh my god, is it tragic? Am I gonna fangirl out? Am I gonna freaking fangirl out? Because, get this, you guys. I don't know how she got arrested. I don't know the backstory. Here I am, backstory freaking Tabby. And I don't know jack shit because I've been so busy. So her mugshot, when I was having a particularly bad day the other day. Oh, tragic is gorgeous and heart of gold. I love her. And if this is after her, I'm like going to be like, autograph. Um, let me see. So, let me see if I can invite you. Oh God, I'm just a veritable. Let me see. I don't know. You know how I am. Challenged at best. There we go, tragic. Do you see that link? If you know how to if you know how to work this link, come on, woman. Um, and hi, Running Gray Wolf. Hi, hi. Um, is it MS that my whatever it is? What? What? Okay, so hi, Susan. Literally, I was clean of Michelle. Like, it was all out of my system. I was clean for 21 days. Maybe I should get a super, super special chip because my sponsor, who doesn't exist, wanted to give me a super, super special chip because other chips are just for regular people and I am super special. One of those freaking chips. You know what I mean? So, Misfits Media. Um, so all law enforcement tells people to get offline. Exactly. It's gaslighting, though. And it's a way to not deal with what's going on, right? And everyone has a right to be online, but the thing is, Michelle is not innocent, but she's not a victim. We could go back and forth on that. Misfits, have you? I don't know how far back you can go into my, um, community post, but I was able to provide screenshots and proof. I had been provided them from a friend, a viewer, TD. She's DT, and I just switched it around. She's amazing, and she had provided me with screenshots, and so I was able to because once I get the screenshots, I want to make sure that they are, legitimate and all of that. And I go and source them, and it took me a while, but I did source, and I was able to prove that Michelle has been doing this kind of fuck shit for over 23 years. For 23 years ago, it was that she was dealing and running steroids, and she was a steroid dealer. And when she got busted, she went and turned everybody else in around her. She does these scams where she pulls all of these people in with her like a freaking tornado from hell. Hi, Steph. Yes, Misfits Media. I was able to prove 23 years. So that's before her. She had her son that had died And then she tried to be opportunistic with her use of steroids in trying to sue the industry of the steroids, because then she was trying to blame the steroids for the death of her son. Her son was not born healthy. Her son was born extremely ill, had a lot of respiratory issues. She was trying to say it was from the steroid abuse she did. She wasn't warned. Nobody told her that she shouldn't do steroids when she was pregnant, and no one told her not to do alcohol and drugs and everything else when she was pregnant. All of her children sadly were born addicted, and her son in particular was very ill, and they would not release that child to her custody. So her husband at the time went and said that he would be there, that he would be home, that Michelle would not be there alone with the baby. And the baby had these respiratory issues, was supposed to be propped up, not ever covered up or anything like that. Baby got home and basically been fucking the next door neighbor. And he came home, found out about this, and in a rage he left. And that was the night that the baby was found tangled in the blanket and suffocated. Her own mother wanted her to be charged with that. Now, I understand that the loss of a child in any capacity, no matter what, is difficult. But where I was able to provide screenshots that showed that she was running drugs and doing this kind of behavior early in her teenage years, and definitely for 23 years, I no longer looked at her mental status as a contributing factor. I myself share one of the diagnoses of Michelle's that she tries to exploit. I do have borderline personality disorder. I was repeatedly raped by my stepfather, who was a policeman in a very small town. And so when I went to the police, I was laughed at, called a dumb whore and a rebellious teenager, and made to go home with all the bruises on my neck and all over my body, and continue to have to shower in front of him on a daily basis. So I do my best to be a functional person in society and not take out what had happened to me on others, even though I too suffer from PTSD and borderline personality disorder as that. So now, Misfits, when Tim was on, he was under duress from Michelle. Michelle had gotten to him first for that interview and was, buttering him up. And he was saying that, Michelle is a wonderful person and he would still, help her to this day. Now, what had happened after that was that Tim was able to find out what she had been saying about him. And he did change his tune. And through a variety of different interviews and different information that I've been sent, I now have been able to put together a much better story, not better story, but a story that makes a lot more sense than the ones we were getting from others. And thank you, Steph. I certainly, oh, what? Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's really hard because my stepfather did end up having a son with my mother. I was one of three sisters. Came from, my mom was being extremely abused, and it was in the 80s. And, here my kindergarten ass, be calling Zero, the operator, and my grandparents and stuff when my dad would come home and try to, unalive my mother nightly. I'd have to wait and then jump on his back and try and pull him off. And all of the cops were his friends. They were our family friends and whatnot. So when I did do the Zero and call my grandparents and everything, they all came over and just, agreed that I was just having a nightmare and whatnot. And, everything, oh, let's just poo-poo this. Well, one of the cops that kept showing up was much younger than my mother and took us under his wing. And unfortunately, he was in love with me, not my mother. And it was an obsession, an absolute obsession. Every that ever looked at me through my teenage years, and we'd meet at the roller rink and whatever, and I'd flirt and whatever, would then never ever look at me again. Like after that first night, and I'm like, why do these guys keep rejecting me? Do I have BO or what? And through the healing powers of Facebook in my 30s, one by one, every single one of those boys wrote me and said that I was the one that got away, that they adored me from that time on. Yet my stepfather had went and essentially waterboarded them in the lake in the small town that we lived in, and would threaten to kill them and their family if they ever even so much as breathed in my direction again. And so I didn't know. I was just like, it's Facebook has been great for so many things. And I mean, ultimately, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a bachelor's degree in criminal justice because I went on a quest to find out, gee, how did my stepfather get away with this? What was he doing? And how did my mom do this? And, it, I never found the answers to that. It was just that, you know what? It was wrong. It was wrong. Thank you, Tragic. Um, okay, Warpath, the guy said you were a narc in New Orleans. What? They said he was a madam. He was on what? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, she was a narc. Yes, she was. She was. That is absolutely also proven. She's a narc. I put that in there. In my series of Michelle, I put in there. She's a rat. She's a rat. She's a narc, and she also brags about run-in girls. That's she would prostitute other girls. She'd go and set it up with all the motels. How she knows the motels so well. Thank you, Running Grey Wolf. Thank you. Um, and Pam Ski. Let's see. Allegedly, Mandy. Hello. Yeah, she is absolutely. Yeah, she's open about being a rat. She's proud of being a rat. She has been a rat for over 23 years. She learned that if she did this and created these tornadoes just as she did on YouTube, if she gets everybody involved around her and she gets busted, she just turns in everybody around her. Oh, absolutely. Hi, Jojo Nanny. New viewer. Hi. So just a disclaimer here. I'm a small channel because I have taken a different look at things that people have. For example, if you look at my channel, you're going to see that I started with Chris Watts. And I went so deep into that case because something didn't seem right in it. And the way that I went, when I read the deposition, and I got deep and I went into everything and went so far down a rabbit hole and then narrated everything in there that I took my own and showed the reasoning why. If I would have been like, that Chris Watts is a monster and whatever, my channel 30,000. But because I went there and I took it apart and I I really went and delved into everything and left no stone unturned. And certainly it is not her fault that she was unalived, and my God, not the fault of the children, but what Shanann was doing to Chris is scary, and she created a monster in him with her lies and whatnot. So it's an interesting series if you'd like to listen to it. But that's where I get a lot of people, and they'll take one look at my channel and be like, you support Chris Watts? Oh my God, you're a monster. I'm like, I don't support him. I support our judicial system. And we have a system in place that does give us the benefit of knowing both sides of the story. And does he deserve it? Prison? Absolutely he does. But does he have a right to let his story be told? Yes, he does. So just so don't be scared off. I'm always open with how I feel about things and why I feel about things, and I can back it up, and I love to talk about how and why I found out things. So welcome to everything. And thank you so much saying my channel is exploding. I think it's doing good in a very steady growth. I think that you can really tell that all of you are my friends, and that I've worked one by one with all of you, learning how you guys are. And I think that we really are a group of women coming together that are strong and supportive, and who may or may not have been through hell, and who are now stronger and bolder and want to speak and stand up for what is right. And together we can. And I'm happy to lead that. Y'all behind me, I will always take everything. And that's why I don't have mods, because I see that even mods get caught up in things, and they end up having to take responsibility for what the creator says. So I'm a lone creator, and that's why I don't do a lot of lives, because I don't have a moderator. And sometimes, when the trolls come in, it's a little tough, as you guys might have seen that night with Snow White, when somebody was really manipulating, trying to get to Snow White. And I could tell it was bullshit, but I had to, cover my ass and do the 988 suicide hotline and everything like that. But that person never ended up contacting Snow White. Thank you for being here, Warpath. Have a great day. Please catch up when you can, okay? And just a sub, hi! You're not just a sub. That's what I'm saying. You guys are not just subs. You guys are my friends. And as the truth starts to fall out with other channels and stuff, other channels buy subs and do things like that, and then do things where they don't let you comment unless thank you so much, Paula. You are loved and valued too. Thank you so much. Tragic, did you leave too, my love? Did you leave too? Thank you for blessing me with your presence. TT, yeah, the family grew up. Yep, exactly. Thank you for stopping in, Susan. So yeah, I don't tell the story of my background to be seen as a victim, but just to be seen as, you know what, a lot of people just see me as normal white girl, and they don't understand that you can be white and have lived through hell too. A lot of people just assume in our society that when you're born white, you have a great life, and no, 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 no. Hi, D Nice, how are you? I do tell my story to help others. It has been used against me, of course, which happens when you divulge things. Um, and hi, Krissa, how are you? How are you? Um, what we were saying here is that we have been through hell, and we are standing up, and we are coming together, and thank you so much. Thank you so much, Running Grey Wolf. I really appreciate that. And Krissa, your husband, I have not caught up with you for a while either. I saw that your husband is starting a channel. And I know that he has a past of being incarcerated, and he has worked hard to become a productive member of society and sub up to him. Carissa's amazing. I like her videos. I like her honesty. Carissa and I both share a diagnosis of gastroparesis. It's just this horrible stomach eating, and then you take two freaking bites and you're full, and you feel like you're going to throw up, and you can't eat anything until then you're starving and starving, and then you take another bite, and it's horrible. It's irritable bowel syndrome combined with other things. I have Crohn's and everything. It's just so hard to deal with. You want to eat, but you can't eat, so you end up, your body gets really depleted of nutrients and vitamins and everything. And my hair has fallen out 3 times from it, and from Crohn's and stuff, just because I get so depleted of everything. And I am now, actually, not even kidding, I am addicted to Cheerios. Dry Cheerios are my life. I eat a family size thing of dry Cheerios almost every 2 days now. 3 boxes of Cheerios a freaking week. Cheerios, yogurt, and just like my hot tea or whatever, little, some my coffee drinks and stuff. Um, but that's what I can actually hold in. Anything else just doesn't stay long. Mister, are you serious? You're a Cheerio eater too? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Starving for a cure is our motto. Exactly. Because when it gets so bad, you just end up, having to go in the hospital and be on IVs. Like mine, with the starvation and everything like that, this went to, it caused pancreatitis and everything like that. It's just and Cheerios are like almost like my popcorn. Like some people eat popcorn and chips. I eat freaking Cheerios. Okay, Running Grey Wolf. Yes, I have bleeding ulcer too. Yep, yep. She got 4 units of blood. Oh my god. The way you can tell when I'm bleeding too much is my lips really will go pale. And so usually then you're getting ready for a breast removal. Oh, what? You are a breast cancer warrior? What? Misfits Media, will you please email me at Tabitha Jane 0 the numeral zero, not the word Tabitha Jane zero at gmail.com. And will you please tell me how what's going on, your diagnoses, and how it's going so that I can support you. Yes, I'm severely anemic. I have that. You have POTS and EDS. Yep. Um, yeah, the gums too. You're right. You're right. Um, have those of you with anemia, have you guys been tested for the motherfucker gene mutation? It's MTH hyphen FR. I call it the motherfucker gene because that's easy to remember in Google. If you Google MTHFR, hi Janice, how are you? If you look at that and you look at the symptoms of what people with the motherfucker gene mutation go through, um, it explains what you are dealing with. I found it, and I found it in me, and that's why I can't absorb iron. So as much iron as they were always giving me for my severe anemia, my body does not absorb it. I have to, and it also I also don't absorb my B vitamins, so I have to have them methylated. It's a interesting thing, and I think that once they find out more about, I think about 15% of the population has MTHFR gene mutation. Through 23andMe, they test for it. So a cheap way not go to the doctor is do your 23andMe and see, because if you have the anemia, that won't go away. It could explain it. Um, Misfits. Okay, so you're being attacked. Okay. Um, oh, you have 5 owners to your channel. That's where I am. Just like our running gray wolf. I'm the lone wolf here. Okay. Yes, Chris, do you have the motherfucker gene mutation? He's not. Hi. Hi. And Steph. Okay. So good. You guys got her GoFundMe down. Janice, you had a little mastectomy and a stage 3. What? Wow. Wow. Good for you. You're a warrior. I had my mammogram last week, and I want to do an upcoming series just on all of the reasoning and all the stuff for a mammogram. So it's really important to me that you guys are talking about this, because I want people to be able to come to us and ask questions, because mammograms can be so intimidating, and they've came so far now. Um, it doesn't even hurt like it used to. Hi Claudia, how are you? Um, Now, yes, so mods are being attacked, everything in the Michelle thing. Hi Claudia, you're new too. As I was telling somebody else, I come from oh, I'm sorry, my audio is breaking up. Hi Mama Cat. I was just playing with my ear thing, so I wonder if I was messing it up. Oh my god, Janice. All 6 of your attempts for reconstructive surgery were complete failures. I am so sorry. The Our local postmaster is going through that, and she just had her semi, and she had her reconstructive surgery, and within a week it had caved in. So she was just there. You can sit for mammograms, by the way? What? Are you kidding me? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. James Blonde, see if you thank you, Running Gray Wolf. I'm gonna put you on my list. I have my list of when I do get there, and I'm gonna be able to, do those. So James, honey, if you click out and click back in, can you see if you can hear me better? We all need to be talking about the issues that we have as women. We can't be quiet about them anymore. It's not enough that there are propaganda that talk about issues now. We as women need to talk about. I'm so sorry, James Blonde. I'm so sorry. You have MS too. Um. Okay, so MS they found because where I'm from in the Pacific Northwest, where I hail from, Sorry, Jane's blonde. I'm sorry, 007. Thanks, honey. Thanks for trying. They found that MS really stemmed from a lack of vitamin D, as they were finding clusters of MS in certain parts of the country that were really prone to cloudiness and overcast skies. Was that true for you too, Claudia? So, how did Michelle get arrested? This is what I don't even know. I don't even know what has happened because I have been clean from Michelle for 3 weeks. So I got her the picture of her mugshot, and it just brightened my day. And is it better, James? I'm moving my mic back a little. Is that better? Okay, James Blonde, tell me what happened. How'd she finally get arrested? You're in the South, Claudia, huh? Was your vitamin D ever low? Like as you were growing up, did they ever test it? I'm really interesting as to how. So the all I saw was the part that said that she was arrested for what, misuse of the 911 system. Okay, so nobody has the. I'm sure everybody has applied for the body cam and report. Um, the mugshot. I know. I have it on my community post right now. And if you haven't seen the community post that I put up, and you haven't seen Sheriff Jolly what he had written to one of my friends in here, that I know the mugshot on the Georgia Gazette. So no one really has. Okay, so the charges are on the DOC website. My theory is that local police department areas are tired and done with her. Ever that someone made a 911 call and she acted a fool. Well, well, that's what she does. Okay, Krissa, tell me this. If your husband pulled 1/10 of the fuck shit that Michelle does, would they just say, he's having a bad day? Or did your husband probably do less and do time in prison? Because Michelle has a history of over 25 years of actively dealing drugs, running girls, causing all kinds of financial scams, giving birth to 3 kids who were addicted, and the stories of abuse and having them taken away permanently. If your husband had done 1/10 of that, would he have gotten away with it? Exactly, exactly. He did less. Exactly. I have never seen the shit she tries to get away with. Okay, so she was trying to get something on true crime. Okay, she must have threatened the operator. I wonder. Well, she regularly threatens the operators. Okay, so exactly, and a lot of charges are bullshit, and people do time for it. Exactly. Why can she get away with that much and still do that? Well, and we know because multiple people have came forward and given me a story and whatnot that has enough to back it up with other things, that she's a narc, she's a rat, she's well known for doing these things where she does her shit, gets what she wants, pulls everybody else into it, as many people as she can, like the toilet flush it just down to hell. She pulls everybody down with her. Just alligator wrestling down a toilet. Just a big shit pile of a shitstorm of Michelle. And then, when she gets busted, she plays the victim, pulls her mental health thing that she doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's doing. She just has these mental illnesses and she doesn't know, and it worked enough times because her grandpa used to have the money to get her out of everything, and then she'd pull her. We've seen her apology tours, and when she goes on and she um oh, she's already lost her weapons. She doesn't have any weapons in that house. Those were all his. She can't own one. She can't own a pew pew. Those were all ETNs, all registered in his names. She had to surrender those at the, let's see, I think it was the May 23rd hearing? No, she doesn't. If she does, she's lying. What? She's not supposed to. She's not supposed to. No, they were surrendered on May 23rd. They had an armed guard there. Um, okay, so he left them all. So the way that it was all set up, there were several people that told me this is how it was going down, is that they had armed court staff ready for the exchange of the pew pews and his guitars. And his car and her car were going to meet at a certain point there in the parking lot, and there were armed sheriff deputies, and the exchange could have went down in a big fiery mess, as they know, and it was done very, very professionally, and nobody was hurt. That is the way that I was told. Okay? Exactly, Misfits. They're gone. Exactly, Mama Cat. I came out with that. And I came in and said that ETN is a fool for leaving them there and not as stolen, and ETN needs to get them back, because if she goes and hawks them for $50 in a, needing the $50, and she does that, and those weapons are then put in the hands of a gang member, because she is Mamacita, and everything happens now. Absolutely, the weapons are absolutely gone as of this very day. Absolutely. Becky from Bama, how, and no, this was confirmed. This was confirmed by the people who were working actively with us that were watching the threats. She may have old pictures. She owed her ugly wine rack. Exactly. She probably, because, okay, and here's how you know. Of course she's going to say she still has them. This is my theory, is that if they finally went and arrested her, it's because they knew that those PPUs were no longer right there. It is my theory that they knew that she had that arsenal in there, and none of them were being paid enough to go in there and get her out of there with that, because as I said, in many of my federal complaints that I wrote about her, she's a Ruby Ridge waiting to happen. She was going to Ruby Ridge when I talk about that. I mean, I would say a Waco, but I don't think that she could do that, because that would require her digging some holes. And I don't think she'd dig. I think that she'd even make somebody else dig a hole to bury bodies that she. um. So, and this is how you can also tell, because of course she's going to say she still has them. Of course she's going to still say that she blah blah blah. Now, the reason why her son couldn't move in is because those were there. Okay, now they've been taken. Now, if she lets it be known that they're not there, then people are going to be like, oh, gee, and your son still didn't even want to move in with you. So she has to front and say that she has them. Now, I think that that's why I go in her house. Do you remember? Well, yeah, because her dogs are. Okay, now, doesn't Valley dog still? I hope to God that Valley Girl has those dogs, and I would love to find a way to support Valley Girl keeping the dogs. I hope that that's been done. Now, the house is in a realtor's name? That's a change, because the house was still in both of their names. They had refinanced it over 3 times. They kind of used the house as an ATM. ETN and ATMs keep sounding the same, and whenever I think of that poor man, I think of an ATM. But a lot of people did. A lot of people, would when interest rates were going and everything, Here you have $30,000 in equity, and you got a situation or whatever, so then you go and you refinance. So initially the house was sold to only ETN. And when they refinanced on the second or third time, her name was put on it. You know what, James? I did actually say that, exactly what you said. And did you see how I got dragged? Valley Girl is sending money to Skidmark. What the fuck? Are you kidding? Valley Girl doesn't. Why did she give the dogs back? What? Hi, B Rando. Yeah, I said that they were in a jar and he had to go and collect them. And do you know how I got dragged? They're like, "Would you say that to a woman? He is a man and he is a victim of domestic violence." I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you check out my playlist of 30 or so videos in which I have highlighted that he is a victim of domestic violence, but at this point he is back living with his mama in another state and he needs to report those guns as stolen. It is no longer an excuse." And I was saying that, and then that's when I was assured and reassured that they were indeed surrendered at that time. Now here's how you know, because she was all popping off ATN Western things. She's ski mod. What the fuck? B Randall? No. No. She's one of Ski's mods now? What the? Oh my. No. No. Okay, James, I'm convinced that Molly's going to come and kick ass. I'm convinced that Molly has the means. Hi, James. I am convinced that Molly and her husband, estranged or not, that they have the means and the ways to document what has been done to take Michelle and anything she ever had or ever would have out of the um so they just let her out of the jail again. Didn't give her a 5150. Are you freaking kidding? I agree, Misfits Media. Oh, you're going inside the dollar store? Ooh, look for my balls. Try and get yourself a nut like mine. Seriously, if you go into the Dollar Tree section where they have the $5 stuff, they have the cutest stuff. And if you remember last year at this time, I had a lot of cute stuff. And people really liked it. They really did get a bad reputation from some people's moms who saw that my stuff looked and led them to believe that I was some type of a mystic and that they should steer clear and not get involved in my voodoo shit. And I'm like, no, it's just cute shit that I find at the Dollar Tree. I like that kind of, like, apocryphal stuff from the turn of the century. Witchy, maybe, but Tabby. Sure, sweetie, let me see here. The other Tabby. She's been a ski mod for, okay. Hi, Billy. Okay. If you are one of Ski Mod's, you end up being a personal financier of his. Okay, let me see here. Yes, yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes, indeed. I'm reading his email. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I'm catching up on all of the good stuff about ski. That's right. You're right in this email. Oh, what is why can't I remember this guy? He's hilarious. And he is covering all of Ski's stuff. So, yeah, I agree. I agree. Um I totally agree because see, and okay, so something okay, what is his name? Why can't I think of it right now? He's this guy and he's hilarious, but he really goes for the donos. He really makes everybody pay for everything. Um what is his name? You guys help me out. Who is the guy that covers all the ski? And he did the other one too, that big mammoth of a woman when she was doing her stuff. Oh, I can't. But he calls the yes, NJ Quartz. He does the best stuff on ski mask. I think he has the most accurate. Yes, NJ Quartz. I like but I can't afford him, and like he tries to raise money, and y'all know I'm one broke hoe. I can't do it. So like I can't. Um, because he'll be like, okay, I gotta get here to 100. I've got to get to this. I've got to get to this, and I'm like, I don't even look my direction. Don't even look my direction. Yes, the mammoth woman controller. Yes. You knew. You knew what I was talking about when I said the big mammoth of a woman. She's big. I know. I'm telling you that being a retired prostitute is not easy. Um, does anybody know what realtor has MS House? Well, the thing is that okay. Dragonflies, is that true? And hello, dragonflies. You know that I'm lover of the dragonflies. Okay, is this true? Okay, tell me what to Google. It seems everybody is not what they seem. I do my best to just go, and if somebody sends me something, I really try to, not run with it and really make sure that it's there, make sure that it makes sense, make sure that I can back it up before I share it. So, am I behind the curve in sharing things? Yes, because I don't just get the screenshot, run and go and do a freaking live and make, a ton of money on it. I try to be responsible with what I say and how I'm saying it, because let's be here, in one of us can end up in a court of law for our mouths. And if my mouth gets me in a court of law, being the broco that I am, I need to be able to back up what I said, why I said it, when I said it, and how I feel that I'm correct in saying it, that I am not reckless in what I say. And Misfits Media, I would love you to send that to me. Yes, dragonflies. Don't you know about the dragonflies? Hi, puppy pixie. Okay. Hi, Pamela. Okay, Tabby. See, that's the thing, is that he does show the receipts, so that's fine. I mean, I'm not that bold. Um, I mean, he says, okay, this is how much it's going to cost me for the airline. This is how much it's going to cost me for this, and he goes and he does it. But is there anything that he can't do by just watching the? I mean, I have a problem with Dumb Betty because of the way that she sits there and begs for money and begs for money and begs for money and commands $50 a meal. And when people in the community give meals to them when they're doing their shit shows, she doesn't say thank you. She says, make sure it's hot next time. And requires $50 a meal on top of everything else. It's like, you know what? We all think of YouTube as passing a donation bin across the church congregation, and say that Michelle walks in and goes, oh my God, my child died and I can't do this, and I have a mental health disorder. And everybody's like, oh my God, you know what? Take everything. You know what? Take this whole bin of donations. Take it. Take it. Take it. And none of us would ever, think of doing what we had earmarked with that money, or dividing it amongst the congregation, or paying the pastor or reverend's salary, not salary, but his living costs, care of the church, etc., etc. Well, then the next week happens, and all the money's in there, and Michelle runs in again and, help me, oh my God, I'm an abused woman, and my ex is in the military, and he's gonna kill me. So everybody, oh my God, they give the donations again to her. Okay. Well, what do you know? Week 3 happens. She runs in. Now I took my home and everything, and I don't have any food. Week 4, week 5, week 6. Well, the people in the congregation needed this for the year, and this for the lawn and maintenance of the parking lot, and all of that. All of those costs are not being made because they're all being given to one person. That's what is happening with the fucking tragedy pimp. They take all of the money, so there's donor fatigue in that. I feel that every creator should be able to say, here's my Cash App, here's my PayPal, whatever. I can't my PayPal because I actually have my name on it, and believe it or not, Tabitha Jane is not my name. I know it's a shock. But I'm just trying to survive. Yep, we'll need to stop going real life. Exactly. I totally agree with you. So that's my thing, is that, oh, he put out Ski's mom's emails, B. Rando? What? And that's the thing, too, is if you show the receipts, I have no problem with it. But where are Michelle's receipts? When you can see that Michelle repeatedly had insurance, and double insurance, and better insurance than most of us. How is it right that all of the money from all of the people were going to her? How is it right that all of the money was given to her when all of her bills were paid? That she not only had every single bill paid, including her cell phone, by her ex-husband, she had Social Security of her own, and all of the money there. How is it right that it continued to go to her, and where are the receipts in her? Okay? So when I stood back, and I've been honest in that I am still less than $500 in total Cash App, whatever you want to say. So I have been given less than $500 total for my 15 months of work. And I just received my second check from AdSense, because it takes me 2 months to hit the $100 mark through AdSense. I don't make $100 a month. I don't hit that mark. So I have been given now $270 through AdSense. So for actually 16 months of work, I have made $570 max. Like, I'm being on the generous side. So if I've earned 570 max, I put how much money, into script and into sourcing other documents and whatnot. I needed to buy a laptop so that, my videos weren't on my phone any longer. And my time, which, believe it or not, before I do my videos, I do a good amount of research so that things are there, and I have my little notes and everything. So to say that I've made $570 max over 16 months of work, it's kind of hard for me to justify this as a part-time job, and that I've made money in it. Am I passionate about standing up for the truth and having a voice and being a part of the community? Yes. And that's why I am not ashamed to say, please tip me coffee money, because that would really help me. Coffee and gas are the two areas where I was really failing in life and having to overdraft my account to pay for gas. Gas was, over 400 and something a month. So my Durango, I could not get fixed when its transmission blew up on me, and it was about a $5,000 fix, and it was sitting there, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and a used Tesla came up. It's a 2021. Oh no, Janice, I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying this is the way that it is for creators, is that they feel like YouTube pays us. And I saw somebody say that, what, your channel sucks if you don't make enough through AdSense. And I understand my channel sucks, but you know what, I'm doing the best that I can. I don't know how to do technology. Mine is a listening channel. And the thing is that then I was able to, we were able to take our dilapidated family van and my broken ass Durango and put it together and put it on a used Tesla. Because then I was like, okay, then we don't have to pay for gas anymore. And I was like, yes, yes, this is the answer. This is the answer. We can get by with one car. We can do this. And the learning curve of going and being dependent on gasoline to not, when you have no money like I do, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. Yesterday I was in absolute tears over trying to get a charge, and I'll make a whole episode of the shit show that I endured yesterday. But it's just that, I have no problem. Like, okay, let's say that, I mean, you know what? I wanted to go home. I didn't call you dragonflies. I was making, fuck off. Fuck you and fuck off. Before I leave, Tabitha, please don't associate my names with drugs. I'm sober and clean, so I'd appreciate it if you don't. Fuck you. I don't have the time for that shit. Fuck you. I make, I was looking at something else when I was reading at the same time. I don't have mods, you fucking cunt. And so I just misspoke and said dragonflies. So fuck off. I'm so sick of people in the way they try and run me like that and the passive aggressive shit. Fuck that. I love dragonflies. You guys know that about me, so I'm not gonna have that person in there. Anyway, um, let's see here. You guys heard I was just doing that. I wasn't implying that this person's a druggie. Fuck off. Let's see here. Okay, Running Gray Wolf, how are you doing with one car? I'm finding that it is honestly saving us so much because we don't have the wear and tear. We are doing other things. The kids are getting creative with, helping each other get rides, etc., etc. Let me see. Chris, okay, so you see, you don't make anything really, and it used to be an income for you, and now the channel has died, and I gained subs greatly trying to get back in the algorithm to start. I know, it's hard. And people assume, Chrissa, that YouTube is paying us, and it isn't. So, Running Gray Wolf, I'm about it. I hate that. When you get somebody and they're just like that and they do that, and it's like, you know what? I did not, fuck. I mean, like I say, it's hard to read and talk at the same time. You guys heard the way that when I was saying another word and greeting them, I was dragonflies, and then I was like, dragonflies, like that. I wasn't implying that that person's a drug. Please don't infer it. I'm clean and sober. Well, fuck off. It is very hard to go through this world clean and sober. I know that. It's much easier to be a fucking Michelle. And I didn't, Oh, do they have a video of the home? It was beautiful in 2012. It really was. I think it's a beautiful house. And I think that a lot of us would be very happy to have had that house and had everything all paid for and had money to spare. But I'm just saying that, well, I understand that there was a movement to be sympathetic to her mental health diagnoses. The way that has been used to manipulate the situation is over. She can get help. And with that, a lot of people offered to help her. So is Michelle in Kansas City for court to say someone drove her to supposed no Zoom? What? No. Oh, I don't know. She lives in Georgia. Thank you, Running Gray Wolf. Yeah, thank you. I have long COVID syndrome, so I had severe meningitis with my COVID, and I almost did not survive it. And I think I'm half deaf. My eyes are actually getting better. and had my eyes checked, and my eye doctor couldn't believe how much my vision has improved. I've lost a amount of weight, and I've been working out really diligently since May, and my eyes have gotten so much better from how they first were after the meningitis. But I still have a big problem with word finding and saying the appropriate word or name with things. And so, um, most people who listen to me know that, and it took a long time before I was confident enough to even speak to anybody outside of my house because I'm like such a bumbling idiot after the meningitis. So to have that just happen to me is fucked. See, it's no joke. It's no joke. Um, did he have the meningitis with the COVID? Miss Fitzmedia, Michelle was once a licensed real estate agent. It is my belief then that she knows exactly how to sabotage this sale. Okay? Um, Miss Fitzmedia, there's been a lot of back and forth with the contractors and the service in which she was using. Um, Here again, I can't remember. What is the name of the service that comes and does like water repair, etc., etc. They are supposedly the company that went in. She had fired them previously, which is why then when she flooded the downstairs, turned on the sink and it was overflowing and flooded the downstairs, but it wasn't her fault. Um, she. I'm so sorry, Running Grey Wolf. I almost didn't survive. Let's see. Thank you, Becky. Believe me, I get so much harassment and everything and told how much I suck and how much I should not have my channel and everything. So it's tough. It's tough to you know, to water remediation specialist, and it's a company. It's a company that is well known and they have like green. So she had them in there. How does she have them in there with the active bats? Isn't that subjecting innocent people to possible infection? Um, but thank you, Grey Wolf. I Service Master. Yes, thank you. You guys can help me. Hi, Knitting. How are you? And thank you. It's not easy, Krista. The haters are hard, aren't they? What is this foreclosure sale? Wait. Did ETN did ETN stop paying? Because maybe his attorney advised him to do so. Let me see. Um, I'm gonna. I have not. Okay, let me see. Let me get into the file here of what I have because you know why okay, Misfits Media. It was initially a foreclosure long ago. So let's say the way that it went, from what I understood, is that originally it was built for a family, and then they lost it in that first big foreclosure that happened. And so the house, as beautiful as it was, remained empty for a long time because it's beautiful. It's in an area where it would take somebody with a good income to get. So it had sat empty for a long time, and then it had I think that owner sold it to them. So if you see the foreclosure, do you see somewhere where it says the date? Because it was built in 1991, and where it says foreclosed and bank owned, from what I saw, was in 2012. So if you see that it says that, you double check those dates and see if somebody didn't miss, look at it just like in passing or whatever. I like to really go for. That's why when I was told that she had insurance, and I had seen that her license was revoked, I get down and deep and see, so this person saw that they didn't go to the next page. Thank you, Misfits Media. Thank you, Krissa. I think that it's hard because of the creators that pitted themselves against each other. Janice, exactly. I think that maybe he did as a last resort. I can imagine that his attorney said, look, you need to stop. You need to stop giving her money. You need to stop giving into this. You need to let this go. You need to move on. I would give him that. I would, you know what, Janice, I would agree with that. Now, with a bat and rat infestation at the very least, and then her hoarding and filthy stuff because she's got MRSA in there too. Um, we don't know. We don't know how bad it is. I mean, like I say, her with the knowledge of her once being a real estate agent, I think that she knew exactly what she saw in the industry from her little brief time at it to know what to do to absolutely sabotage the sale. Hi, jet lag. I know, a quick sale and run, but how do you do even a quick sale without with her in it? You know what? Her name is on the thing, so he can't. Um, Misfits, there was Misfits did on this back to my shorts. Go to my short. Go look at my shorts. I can't say that to go to my shorts and look at did I nabbed that clip from Kingpin. Do you know where do you know the scene in Kingpin when the guy had to pay his rent to the landlady and she was like right? I did that as a short because initially when I heard that she was involved with ski and how she got involved with ski, it went roundabout because she was trying to find out the best people that she could get on her little list of flying monkeys to do the most damage. Um, she was trying to woo Ski into coming into that house to run a bed and breakfast with her because that's her dream. She'd love to sit there on that couch, smoke her cigarettes, have the men come in, blah, 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 and then have other people come in and pay the house payment. And she wouldn't have to do anything, but she would threaten to cook for them, and we all know how that turns out. So, as desperate as Ski was, as I hear that his cohort, he likes women who middle aged on Social Security, maybe maybe also retired prostitutes like myself. um, okay, Running Grey Wolf, he did find her in her she absolutely that's proven. He rented her for the weekend and he decided to go ahead and buy the all you can eat. God. Yeah, he was a John, absolutely. He was a John. He's shy, and there are issues with him. Sadly, he was vulnerable. He's a nice guy, but he's shy. And as we know, sadly, his brother took his own life in a way that breaks my heart. And so you can glean some insight that um, there's a lot of pain with him, and maybe he had a lot of feelings that he couldn't really express. And she she was fresh out of rehab, one of her little rehab stints. Every single time that she got to be put in jail for her car accidents and everything else and DWIs that she'd gotten into, she'd go to the judge and do her apology tour and be like, I just live a life and be good for my children. And the judge falls for it, just like all of us do. When Michelle cries and does her little, I'm a good Michelle, then everybody's like, oh, wow, that's great. And I fell for it for like the first 2 times. And I'm like, nope, I know what you've done. And what you've done to people. There are people who are in this world who've had a lot less and it went to prison or worse for what you've done. Um, Yeah, she did want the pretty woman ending, but she didn't contribute anything, you know. Um, okay, Run Grey Wolf, did you see my video of when I did that? When I showed in that video, people say that I procured that video from the Tim videos and stuff, and I'm on. I didn't even know who Tim Trimble was when I had done that. I found that video and I did it and I showed that. Oh God. She just needs to let that last name of his go. He needs to sue for that last name back. I'm telling you. Let me see. Yeah, she sat there aft as that was chemically burning him. You could see that. Um, exactly. Changed my last name. She wouldn't drop it. I know. I know. Um, Krissa, have you been listening to my limited series of narrating the 7M lawsuit of KJ? I can't believe the balls on that woman. I can't believe it. And as yeah, Running Grey Wolf, it's in my playlist. If you look, I have my Michelle playlist. I try to keep it to only 10% of my total content so that, if I had 35 Michelle videos, I better have 350 videos. I think when am I at 400 videos? I got close to 40 with her. I tried to keep her as 10% of my content. Um, Let me see. If you look at the one, yeah, you might have seen it, but the last one channel totally to fight with me because they compared me reporting Michelle to the same waste of law enforcement dollars as the woman who faked her kidnapping. It's like I'm like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna fight. I won't fight. I've seen how many creators pit themselves against each other that were once friends. Look at how many channels Michelle took down. And is it Michelle or is it the toxic atmosphere in which she creates? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Running Grey Wolf. Check out Chris's channel. Her and her husband, I think, are really cute. I think that they're forthcoming with their past, and I like I like that. Um, so I have my playlist too with my Dollar Tree crystal ball, and my playlists you can just listen to them while you're doing other things because I can't figure out how to do anything. Janice, that's the thing is I don't think it has changed hands, has it? Well, what somebody said is that okay, because basically the assumption is that Katie Joy doesn't care about what she's doing because her insurance is going to cover what she did because she has liability on her mouth. But I'm trying to get my hands on the terms of the insurance to see if it covers if you say this or that, you know, if you're reckless. Like, do you know your link in here? Or can you just, if somebody, let's see. Yeah, I went, okay, so Carissa, Katie Joy lives very close to me. I almost had the misfortune of building my house down the block from her. And I didn't know. I didn't know who she was or anything, but just as I found out and when her address is pretty well known and I saw it and I'm like, "Whoa, why does that sound familiar?" I'm like, "Holy oh my." I would have been like her neighbor, like, "Oh, can I borrow a cup of sugar?" Not. um you, country channel. See, there's a little niche for people like me that you can just listen to, right? So no, I live like out here we have these like townships, but we're in the same county, and so I live a few townships over from her. So the courthouse is just 10 minutes from my house. I went to the hearing, the first hearing where the actual attorneys were in the room with each other for the first time. And so it was like, all right, the players have picked their fighters, and Katie Joy's attorney is some grandma who has like a worn out Vera Bradley handbag that she's had for 20 years and has the holes on the corner and doesn't know what to do with everything because she was on vacation is why she didn't do this, and she didn't know that the deposition was going to be due. And Evan M's attorney, she's freaking Xena warrior princess. She went to college on a basketball scholarship. She's every single bit of 6'9", and she came to play. And the two of them was like, oh my god, this is absolutely. Hi, Frito Bandito. I'm just talking about. I wanted to find out the scoop on how Michelle was arrested, and then I'm just kind of going back and circling about how I decided to get involved in the Katie Joy thing. So I was hearing that Katie Joy was victorious in all of this, and that once again she was going to win. And she was saying that the judge is mad because people had been illegally listening into the trial, or not trial, but the hearings in a Zoom link, and that the other side wasn't doing what they were supposed to or anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna march my happy ass into that courthouse and see what's going on myself. And I did. And I went, 5 times prior and annually made sure that I'm not doing anything wrong by going and being there, that there's not been anybody who's been in trouble for illegally listening or anything like that. They're looking at me like I have 3 heads. They're like, it's open to the public. What's your problem? I'm like, well, there's going to be a lot of people here. You're going to want extra security. There's going to be like black limos out here and bodyguards, just a lot of people. And they're like, what? Yeah, and of course I was the only one who showed up. Frito Bandito, if you don't know who MS is, well, you're going to have to go over to my community page because I'm not going to say any names in here. Because I don't want my ass to get sued like Katie Joy. Anyway. It was a clash of cultures. It was that an attorney is there. They understand the internet. They understand how social media works. They understand the power of social media, and they understand how irresponsible rumors can indeed cause multi-million, possibly future billion-dollar contracts to be ceased. And you have her side, who's the only lawyer in town who would take this. And then I went and I spent about 3 hours the first day just getting memos, because I thought, I'm just going to get the memos and stuff, and kind of see what's going on with the language in this. And then I started reading and I was like, oh my God, they're referring to this, they're referring to that. There have been interrogatories, there have been depositions, there have been all of this. Oh no, it is not her side winning. That's her mouth running again to make it seem like that, and that nothing could be further from the truth. So I decided that she actually is really hot, and I really want to be her when I grow up. So yeah, she's so hot. Her chin is melting off of her face, and her nose is running the other direction from the lies her mouth spews. I decided the public. Thank you so much, Janice. Nice to see you, hon. I decided that the public needs to understand what is truly going on in these lawsuits, word for word, line by line. And if I can be that happen, then I'm going to do that, because it's high time that people see that there is a duty that goes along with free speech. That free speech, people die for us to be able to have the free speech that we do. And that free speech is free, but it's now limited due to the political correctness. Let's see here. I think we got a troll. There you go. All right, let's see. That one wants to go and get kidnapped by Katie Joy. Well, they can go. Let's see. Yep, I know. I saw it, Little Miss Bossy. Thanks, hon. Um, and I had to think long and hard of whether or not I wanted to admit that I live that near her. But I also to understand that, yeah, I live by her and shit, that out here people don't care about anything other than how their corn is growing and whether or not we're going to get rain. That Katie Joy can come and go as she pleases, that nobody would ever know who she is. Nobody cares. Um, and I'm trying to. Hi, Soft Bomb. How are you? I know. Old Todd, was that you? Yeah, did you text me last week? I didn't get it. I didn't get it if you did, love. Let me see. I didn't get it. Resend it because sometimes my phone is weird with when it switches over from text to whatnot. Let me see. There we go. As you can see, the last time that I sent you a text last on July 30th. Softball Mom, do you know the beast that is Katie Joy? If not, it's more for you to listen to. Let's see. Yeah, Running Gray Wolf. That's a is that a lot of people try to trick you into saying, like, they may and Frito Bandito, maybe you're just in here trying to see what's going on, but oh, you'll have to. Oh my God, Softball Mom. She's the one who got sued by Tati and Chris Chrisley, and now at 7M. You will not believe it. So yes, it's a whole nother series for you to take naps to, my love. I hope you're doing well. Um, and what was happening to me a lot is that people were like, "You're going to get sued by Michelle, and you're liable for what you're saying with her, and you're going to go to court, and you're going to get sued." And I'm like, really? You and what army are going to sue me? Because I made sure that everything that I'm saying has legs. I can back it up. I can back it up in how I have it. And I'm not Katie Joy making up my sources and pulling them out of my ass and creating fake text and everything, because I don't know how to do that. Everybody knows that. But I will tell you that I have everything all saved, and I don't talk unless I know what I'm talking about. I know Chris said you think it was Todd. um so right, Running Gray. That's I know. I kicked him out. Oh my God, but Running Gray Wolf and Krista, did you guys ever see when Katie was saying that about how much she used to like to fornicate? That she used to fornicate all the time. That before they were married, they would fornicate with others and fornicate. I'm just like, bleh, bleh. I mean, there are not attractive people in this state. I mean, honestly, I came from the West Coast and I lived in Vegas for a while, where the most beautiful men are there. The women are all plastic, and then when I lived in Irvine and go down to San Diego and whatnot, you see beautiful, very, very plastic women and men, where they all have that same kind of cat face, the same bodies. It was in the time of the long blonde hair, extensions, and same makeup, same Louboutins, you know what I mean? And I came out here to Minnesota after that, and I'm like, everybody's wearing sweatshirts with embroidery, like to concerts. And here I am, coming out wearing my Vegas stuff. And about the second time that I nearly got killed by stoning and public square on Sunday high noon for my outfits, I was like, yeah, it's time to just kind of learn to fit in because I can't take the heckling. It's not like attention like, oh, you're dressed up nice or anything. It was like, you vile whore, get out of my state. So that's why people are really in in Minnesota very, very casual. Um, but still, I don't think anybody would be desperate enough to fornicate with Katie Joy. I really don't. Um, you know, Running Grey Wolf. Cousin Vinny. Yes. Yes. Um, to the point that she's not bisexual, I think that the term misogynist applies to Katie Joy. Misogynist is typically a term for a man that hates women. Katie Joy is like a man that hates women. The term, oh, incel, where it's like, involuntarily celibate men and they hate women. It's like Katie Joy's female incel. Okay, Running Grey Wolf, yes. Okay, you spent a lot of time in Vegas. Do you recognize the plastic? My favorite place in Vegas is the Silverton. I love the Silverton. I used to take the kids in there all the time and just plant their strollers in front of the floor to ceiling aquariums. Running Grey Wolf, I don't know if you know this. I have 6 kids, and my youngest 3 were born in 2 days less than 1 year. So the twins were born, and then my next oldest turned 1. So 3 under 1, 3 under 13 months, 3 under 14 months. Okay, get the thing. So, and I had problems with kidney failure back and forth, and one of my twins has cerebral palsy. So, and then my husband was most of the time, so it was a very, very busy time in my life. But when we moved down to Vegas for me to go through law school, with a perfect plan, um, it didn't work out so well because I got Running Grey Wolf. Did you hear about Dr. Desai, that monster that created the big hepatitis C outbreak and whatnot? I was one of his victims. I did not get Hep C, but I got a mutant strain of MRSA that nearly took me out. Um, Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. I have noticed that about the white power signs. Um, I thought that she was. I know that Dumb Betty does them too, and I can't believe that they don't get called out more for the white power stuff. I mean, as the racist that they are, and with the on that topic with her, there is that lore around her that they have this they've had the white supremacist stuff happening in the backyard and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, they're not rural enough for that really to happen, but when I see it on Reddit, I just have to laugh. Yes, okay, Running Grey Wolf. Okay, and I need to do so I'm going to do my series on mammograms, and I'm also going to do my series, and it was the rise and fall of Dr. Decide. Yeah, that bastard who thought that these silly Americans, what is wrong with them? They think that you can't reuse a syringe. These syringes are worth a nickel a piece. That's more than anybody's life is worth that I'm treating. Yeah, that bastard. The one that pretended to have a stroke when he was arrested. And oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. The one that recently died, and I finally was able to breathe freely for what he did to me. Yeah, that one. KJ said that she was happily unavailable. once when she was making fun of Michelle Duggar being joyfully available? Is Michelle Duggar getting a divorce? I am so far behind on all. I used to watch 17 and Counting when it was just the 17. Yeah. And I to do my exposure on him and go through my personal story and to have survived that medical nightmare, and that's why I'm kind of fragile. So when I did get the vid, then it affected me much worse than others because of the damage that I have from my massive heart attack that I had at age 36 because of the mutant ass MRSA that went through my system. But anyway, when I on the days where I was not in the hospital, I was in God, what is that hospital? Rose Hill, those Catholic hospitals. I was in the Southern Hills one and Catholic Health West. Oh God, and it's in all of its glory. And that's the thing. It's not hard to be joyfully unavailable. I know, because I see the part about the Duggars say they should be available to their husbands whenever they want. Oh, it's just the whole thing when Katie Joy said fornicating. Like, no. Because I didn't. I mean, I know what's going to happen to me. Katie Joy is going to expose docs and excoriate me. And I'm just going to have to be held up by you guys and go through it. And I've warned my kids that, if a seriously ugly woman with a crooked chin and a weird nose and a male pattern baldness, receding hairline comes to the doorstep, do not answer the door. I'm not home. Home. But I don't see how she's not freaking out when I am reading the lawsuit stuff. I can't believe how bold she is, and I can't believe that she's not scared to death. She's been through the deposition and interrogatories. These have already all been done, where I was under the impression, like others, that none of that had been done. Oh, it's been done. 7M protected their ass. Yes, St. Rose Dominican Hospitals, yes! I was in there for weeks and weeks at a time. They have great food. They really do. And Friday is pizza day there. And I mean, like, you have like shrimp scampi. The food there in the hospitals. Care? Not so much. Not when they were all related to Dr. Desai, when he brought in all of his Pakistani nephews that weren't quite doctors, but you know what I mean. They didn't quite need a license because no one was really checking if those licenses were real or not in Vegas, because Dr. Desai was, in politics, and he's the one, after all, who decided that doctors would be much more likely to go down to Las Vegas if they didn't have to have personal malpractice. So when all of us were nearly killed, definitely maimed, there's no help for that. It's just that I live with 80 to 90% of my small fiber nerves gone and damaged, and I fall a lot, but that's all right. Yeah, it was like a outbreak. We were there. I would see other people too, and then I'd see them not make it. I'd see their doors shut, and I'd see them come and get them, and one by one I would see them, not be there in the halls when we would go back and forth to be able to take our little walks in the afternoon. And so a bunch of us were very, very sick and being gaslighted and not told what was really wrong with us, and lines and IVs, and it was a mess because he was sick. He was a sick, disgusting doctor. He does belong in hell. That I do believe that he's there. When he finally died, I was really happy because he had it coming. Jet Lag Children's Hospital downtown has an awesome cafeteria. See, people make fun of hospital food, and I'm a fan. I am a fan of the hospital food. I also worked in a hospital, though, long ago and far away when I was going to be a nurse, but my latex allergy took me out of my nursing program and my hospice career and all of that. But I loved my lunch breaks, and then when I work at the night shift, and I made the cook, Boris, who's not friendly at all, but I made him make a shrimp omelet at night with sour cream and salsa. So that's my thing. Yeah, it was scary. It was really scary. And people don't believe me when I had a voice inside me one night that said, "Run. Run for the hills. Run. Just get out of Vegas," because I knew I was dying. And they told my husband that I had 3 weeks max and then I should be put on hospice. I was 36, 6 kids. He called my ex-husband and they tried to figure out where I should be buried, whether where my older kids live or where my husband was going to move to be near his mother. And so they were making burial plans for me. And I told him, I was like, no, you're not just visiting your mother. We're moving. I was like, I have something in me telling me to run. I was like, I don't understand it, but I feel like if I don't leave here, I will not have a chance. We packed up everything we could with the help of the Mormon Church. And they were there for us when nobody else was, and packed up a moving and did what we had to do, and moved to Minnesota and got my dilapidated ass to the Mayo Clinic. And the Mayo Clinic was like, where have you been? Like they thought I was lying about being out of the country. And I was like, no, Las Vegas. And they were like, you need to tell us where you've been. I'm like, I've not been out of the country. And they're like, there's no way you have this infection in the United States. Like, I did. They're like, this infection is not yet in the United States. It was. And it took a while. And it took a very long while. And the person who exposed it in the Las Vegas Sun, yeah, he had to quit his job too, or he was going to be backed, as you know. What happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas, because a lot of those people were tourists. It was my guardian angels telling me to leave and free the devil. It was hell. I do believe that he's dragged into hell. He is sinister. And all of them there. And that's why, I mean, like they had no fear of, banishing me from each hospital. So I don't understand how Michelle gets away with the things that she does, just because, of the corrupt nature of what was happening to me. Oh, really? Shingles made you deaf in 1 year? Yeah, my husband is telling me to go to the audiologist, and I'm like, huh? So go to the hearing doctor and get a hearing aid. I'm like, what are you saying? How it goes. You know how it goes. Well, check out my community page. Check out that screenshot. You guys email me. Let me know what's going on and how this went down with Michelle. And thank you for being here in the chat. And thank you for being cool. And Running Grey Wolf, thank you for your offer to be the mod. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this because I'm going to go down and I'm going to make salsa. And I'm going to put pictures up about how to make salsa for all of you, so you all know. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.